big secret in life is that there is no big secret. Whatever your goal, you can get there if you're willing to work. The greatest sin is to think of yourself as weak. When you see yourself as weak, it's not just a passing thought. It's a chain you place on your heart and mind. That thought holds you back from challenges, makes you hesitate before opportunities, and extinguishes the brilliant flame of potential within you. But humans are not born to crumble in the face of adversity. We are born to rise above it, to discover the strength that we often fail to recognize in ourselves. Weakness is not anyone's true nature. It is merely the shell of fear and doubt. When you tell yourself you're not strong enough, you're refusing the opportunities life has set before you. But if you're brave enough to look within, you'll see that strength doesn't lie in appearances or perfection. It lies in your ability to stand up after every fall, to persevere, and to believe that you deserve better. Remember, those who have changed the world weren't immune to fear. They too felt small at times and faced what seemed like insurmountable limits. But they didn't let the thought of weakness define them. By pushing through moments of doubt, they found their true strength. You can do the same, because humanity's greatest power isn't in never failing. It's in daring to try and rising again when everything seems against you. Life doesn't require you to be perfect. It only asks that you have enough belief in yourself to start and enough resilience to keep going when things get tough. When you convince yourself you're weak, you don't just lose the opportunities ahead. You also lose your sense of self-worth. But the moment you begin to believe you can, even just a little, you'll see how that belief can create a profound change. So don't tell yourself you're not good enough or strong enough. Strength doesn't come from a lack of fear. It comes from facing it head on. You don't need to be like anyone else. Just be yourself, with a little more courage, a little more determination. When you do, nothing will stand in the way of you achieving what you truly deserve. If you do not make yourself indispensable, you will be unemployed soon. Don't allow anyone to treat you badly just because you love them. Strive to make small changes and learn something new daily, because there are always these experiences you have had to tap into for the future. Someone's opinion of you doesn't have to become your reality. If you never heal from what hurt you, you'll bleed on people who didn't cut you. Pain, if left unhealed, never truly leaves us. It lingers within, weaving its way into every aspect of our lives, influencing how we think, feel, and act. An unhealed heart is like an open wound. Every touch, no matter how light, reignites the pain. This doesn't just burden us, it inadvertently causes harm to those around us, even the ones who genuinely care. When we carry wounds that haven't healed, we begin to view life through the lens of our pain. Harmless words or actions from others may seem sharper, harsher, as they press against the unhealed parts of us. In that heightened sensitivity, we may overreact, pushing away those who truly wish to help or support us. But here's the truth. The pain you cling to not only affects you, but also spills over onto the people who love you. They didn't cause your wounds, yet they face the consequences. You bleed on them emotionally, projecting your hurt in ways they neither deserve nor understand. Healing doesn't mean forgetting. It means learning to see your pain as a part of your journey, not its endpoint. It takes courage to face what has happened, to accept that you cannot change the past, but can decide how it shapes you. Healing is a form of liberation, not just for you, but also also for those who share your life. Remember, healing is not an easy path. It requires small, deliberate steps, facing memories, learning to forgive, and embracing the scars as reminders of your resilience. Yet with each step, you move closer to peace. As you heal, you free yourself to live a fuller life and shield your relationships from unnecessary hurt. So don't shy away from healing. Don't let the pain of the past steal the peace of your present and future. Face it, mend it, so you can love and be loved in the most genuine and complete way. Knowing when to mind your own business and when to speak up is a life lesson that takes time. But once you know when to react or retract, life flows much more smoothly. You have to take chances sometimes, and although it can be scary and outside your comfort zone, you'll never know what could have been unless you go for it. It is during the worst times of your life that you will get to see the true colors of the people who say they care for you. You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. Life is ever-changing. Some days the sky is clear and blue, while on others, dark clouds gather overhead. But what truly matters isn't the weather. It's how you choose to face it. You can't command the rain to stop, but you can choose to pick up an umbrella and keep moving forward. It's in your ability to control your mind that you'll discover real strength, a strength that doesn't rely on the world around you. The truth is, the events happening around you do not define who you are. Harsh words, unexpected failures, or obstacles along your path are merely parts of life. They may knock on the door of your mind, but you are the one who decides whether to let them in. When you realize that your emotions aren't dictated by external circumstances, but by how you choose to interpret them, you'll feel lighter, freer. Think about it. How many times have you allowed a minor criticism to ruin your entire day? Or let a small setback make you feel as though the whole world is against you? True strength doesn't come from avoiding such moments. It comes from telling yourself, all right, this happened, but I'm not going to let it define my day. Your mind is like a garden. If you leave it unattended, the winds and dust from the outside world will fill it with weeds and chaos. But if you nurture it, choosing thoughts that bring peace and clarity, then even on stormy days, your garden will remain a sanctuary of calm. So, learn to turn inward and ask yourself, how important is this really? Can I see this differently? When you start mastering your thoughts, you'll realize that no circumstance is too overwhelming and that no one but you has the power to decide your happiness. Strength, in the end, isn't something you need to seek from the outside world. It's always been within you, waiting for you to recognize and claim it. We walk away from our dreams, afraid we may fail. Or worse yet, afraid we may succeed. You can't expect everyone to be good to you. And at the same time, you can't be good to everyone. He suffers more than necessary, who suffers before it is necessary. Never expect and never put too much trust in anyone. Don't stick with bad friends just because you've known them for a long time. If you are in your 20s, many relationships will fail and not work but function as learning exercises. Because of this, don't stress so much. It's all just practice until you're married. Your friends and family do not always know what is best for you. the person you needed when you were younger. When we look back at our childhood, we often see a version of ourselves, innocent, sometimes fragile, occasionally lost, and always yearning for someone to guide, encourage, or simply listen. But life as it is may not always have given us what we needed. Now as adults, we have the chance to become the person we once longed for. It's a chance not only to heal the wounds of our past, but also to be a source of light for others. Think back to those moments when you felt alone, those times when you wished someone would tell you that everything would be all right. Imagine the child within you. That child didn't just need comfort, but also needed to know that they were enough, strong enough to face the world. And now, ask yourself, can you become the person that child needed? That person doesn't have to be perfect. They only need to have patience, compassion, and the courage to instill hope. Becoming the person you once needed doesn't mean rewriting the past, but learning to live the present more fully. It's about offering the advice you know you once needed to hear but never did. It's about forgiving yourself for mistakes, because you understand now that growth is never a straight line. It's about showing yourself and those around you the empathy you might have once lacked. Remember, when you become that person, you're not just helping yourself, you're impacting lives around you. The children of today might need you, a role model, a friend, a guide. And every time you act from kindness, from understanding, you're not just changing the present. You're shaping a future where love and support are foundational. So listen to yourself, reflect on what you once needed, and let that guide your actions. Becoming the person you once needed is not just an act of healing. It's a declaration that you've overcome, that you can turn the pain of the past into the strength to build a more meaningful life. Not everybody who speaks in a pleasant way to you is your friend. People are not good. People are not bad. People are just people. Never let yourself become completely dependent on anyone. Always be able to support yourself financially, mentally, and physically. A wise man can learn more from his enemies than a fool from his friends. Our lives are defined by opportunities, even the ones we miss. A man must be big enough to admit his mistakes, smart enough to profit from them, and strong enough to correct them. Inwardly, everything should be different, but our outward face should conform with the crowd. Anyone who can make you angry becomes your master. Anger is not merely a reaction. It is a power you unknowingly hand over to someone else. When someone can ignite anger within you, they not only disrupt your calm, but also take control of your mind and actions in that moment. You become a puppet, pulled by strings of emotion that you no longer govern. In doing so, you relinquish the mastery of your life to their hands. Think about it. Why do someone else's words or actions provoke such strong emotions in you? Does it truly reflect their strength, or does it expose a vulnerability in how you manage your feelings? By allowing someone to make you angry, you not only let them dominate your thoughts, but also sacrifice your precious freedom to maintain your inner balance. Anger is like a fire. It requires fuel to keep burning. But if you refuse to let your mind supply that fuel, the flames will quickly die out. Calmness in every situation is not passivity or weakness. It is the highest expression of inner strength. To remain calm is to remain the master of yourself. refusing to let anything or anyone compromise your values or reasoning. The wise do not allow meaningless words or impulsive actions to disturb their inner harmony. Instead, they look deeper into the roots of the situation, understanding that anger only distances them from their goals and peace. When you learn to rise above anger without reacting impulsively, you not only safeguard your dignity, but also preserve the freedom of your soul. So do not let anyone become your master through your anger. Remember, you alone have the right to control your emotions. By refusing to let anger take over, you live not only more freely, but also with genuine strength and tranquility. The reason you want to be better than someone else is the reason why you aren't. It's not whether or not you get knocked down. It's what you do when you get back up. The first rule is to keep an untroubled spirit. The second is to look things in the face and know them for what they are. When you arise in the morning, think of what a privilege it is to be alive, to think, to enjoy, to love. Experience, don't expect. Experience life. Do not carry expectations on how it should be. Wanting something is not enough. You must hunger for it. Your motivation must be absolutely compelling in order to overcome the obstacles that will invariably come your way. Numbing the pain for a while will make it worse when you finally feel it. When a defining moment comes along, you can do one of two things: define the moment, or let the moment define you. Our wounds are often the openings into the best and most beautiful part of us. Pain can make us want to turn away, to forget, as if it's something ugly that we'd rather not face. But if you pause and truly look into those wounds, you'll find they're not just marks of what hurt you. They're pathways that lead you to greater strength and deeper understanding. Wounds don't just break us, they force us to grow. Think back to a time when you experienced your greatest loss or failure. Wasn't it in those moments that you realized you were capable of enduring far more than you'd ever imagined? Wasn't it then that you began to understand yourself better? What you truly need, what you truly care about? Instead of making us weaker, our wounds open doors for us to discover who we are and who we want to become. The pain we endure in life doesn't exist to crush us. It exists to give us new perspectives. A heart that has been broken knows the value of love. A dream that has been shattered teaches us to cherish even the smallest victories. Instead of hiding your wounds, see them as essential chapters in your life story. Chapters that don't just prove you've lived, but show you've overcome. No one's life is flawless, and it's the scars and the pain that make us truly human. They remind us that it's okay to be imperfect, that it's okay to feel vulnerable. What matters most is how we take those wounds and turn them into lessons, how we use them to love deeper, forgive more freely, and appreciate ourselves fully. So don't turn away from your wounds. Let them be a part of who you are, not as something to forget, but as proof that you've lived, you've fought, and you've overcome. These wounds, if you dare to face them, will lead you to the truest and most beautiful parts of your soul. Usually, people only want to hear the good, not the bad. So, if you have issues, it'll be hard to find people to confide in.